After a busy Q4 season, Amazon sellers often encounter a lot of returns from customers, as it is something inevitable. Today, I talked to 11 Amazon sellers to find out what kind of strategies and tips they have for dealing with Amazon returns. What do you do with products that are returned?
If we get a return and the product is mint condition, it wasn't used, it's still closed and sealed and everything, we kind of like evaluate the product, and if we can ship it back to FBA again, we just do that. If not, like we always get returns that it's an open box, they've used the product. I mean, like it happens, it's Amazon, so it always happens. For those, we try to use either eBay or Walmart.com to kind of like get rid of excess inventory and just kind of like get our money back and put them in good products. That's what we try to do.
So we have two distribution centers or prep centers who will deal with returns for us. On a main basis, they will resell the products onto different marketplaces. Sometimes, I'd probably say like 15 to 20% of the time, the products are actually good enough to go back into Amazon, which is like what happened. But on the other side is that they will resell them into other areas. If they're not good enough, we may even get them destroyed. That's like the way we deal with it. It's not perfect. Obviously, I'd love to get the cost down, but we also have to think about that when we're doing our returns, because that does have a cost. And sometimes we say, just destroy it. It's not even worth doing return for.
Because you turn to the prep center, you had to pay for that shipment, and then you have to pay another fee for them to inspect it. And who knows if you could sell it on Amazon or not. You have to probably find another place to dispose it as well. So that could take a lot of time.
So returns are an unfortunate reality of every Amazon business or every retail business. So we have our own workflow for returns. We'll grade the product. If the product can be resold on Amazon in new condition, we'll send it back to Amazon a second time. If it can be sold on Amazon in a used condition, like an open box type condition, we will actually sell it at 80% of the price open box, and customers do buy that stuff. So that's a great way to recover the value. And then our next thing down the list is maybe it can't be sold on Amazon at all, but we can sell it on eBay. And if it's worth it to list it on eBay, we'll do that. And then the last kind of bucket of returns are expired products or open beauty products that have clearly been used, things that just are complete trash. We'll just trash those. And then if there's any value to salvage out of them, then we'll do liquidation. So we'll do like a yard sale style liquidation. We'll post something on Facebook Marketplace. Hey, we have a bunch of products, pennies on the dollar, come clear us out. And a flea market is another way to do that. I know Amazon Lit, massive wholesale seller, they'll take all their unsellable returns, go to a flea market and cash out of them. So that's kind of our basic workflow. It's kind of a flow chart. We go down the list and list it in various places to recover value.
This we can still get some revenue back.
Yeah, even breaking even on a return is a win, or getting most of your buy costs back is a win. So recover whatever you can.
We have automatic removals for stranded over 30 days. I think Amazon does that for you, which we work aggressively to fix all month. Products that go over 12 months and then unfulfillables. If it'll resell for more than $100, we'll sell it on eBay or another marketplace. If it's used, but in good condition, we've negotiated relationships with resale stores. So we basically liquidate them to a store like Clothes Mentor, Plato's Closet, or Kid to Kid.
There's a feature on Seller Central called Selection Guidance, where you can type in the type of item you're selling and it gives you the return rate. And then from there, if you know that you're selling like a router, for example, that's a very high return rate, your ROI needs to be bigger to deal with that. But then like when you get the returns, if you're doing FBM, you can do restocking fees within reason. You want to make sure that you're removal ordering your inventory from FBA. You want to make sure that you're going into it from the start knowing that like it's worth the risk versus reward of me having to return this item is worth it. And then you're just gonna have to liquidate stuff on eBay or other platforms in order to get your money back so you can put it back into better stuff.
Definitely, my shoe return rate is in the close to 25%. It's very high because people doing mostly athletic shoes and the return rate will tend to be lower, but because I do a variety of shoes, so it has higher return rate. Have higher return rate, that means people don't want to get into it because of that. It's good for me. However, I still have to manage the return. So based on my experience, among the 25% return shoes, 25% of that 25 become unfulfillable. So that means I cannot sell as a new on Amazon. how do I recoup the buy cost as much as I can? So I will review my daily unfulfillable and determine whether something I can sell on eBay and try to recoup the buy cost as much as possible. I personally use a service that specializes in handling unfulfillable. That service actually is very developed specifically for a seller who sells shoes, because shoes, it has good value selling price on eBay. Any other category like beauty, grocery, don't even think about it, right? So imagine the fee you have to deal with when you remove an item from Amazon. First of all, shoes actually has pretty high return removal fee. It's anywhere from $3.60 to $10. Wow. Because it's a new removal fee. Now, once after you remove the shoes, then you ship to the service provider. They will charge you a monthly subscription fee and then a per item inspection fee, $1.50. And then, depends on the size of the shoes, it can be charged $3 or $6. Most of my shoes is $6. And then you have to pay the eBay final value fee and then the shipping to customer fee. In total, probably you're paying anywhere from $25 to $30 out of my pocket in order to get that shoes listed on eBay and be sold. So I better have a selling price above $30, right? Otherwise, I might as well I just go ahead and liquidate the shoes to begin with. However, if we're thinking about destroying the shoes, maybe even faster, but remember, dispose of any shoes is the same as removing it. They will charge the same rate of a same removal fee. So you better liquidate. At least you get 5% of the trending selling price of that particular item. So let's say $100 shoes, trending price, selling price on Amazon, 5% of that is only $5, right? Now, $5 is better than nothing. However, you remember that if you get $5 back, you still have to pay Amazon 90 cents per item plus 15% like a referral fee on that particular item. So you're getting about $3.50 back. So that's all you get. Very small, but with the service that I have, I think anywhere it's at least 30% of the buy cost. That makes me feel much better.
So there's a couple of things. One is when the return comes, if you're using FBA, it goes right back to Amazon. And Amazon inspects it. If it's in new condition, they will put it right back to your inventory, so you don't have to worry about those. The ones that are not in new condition and it goes in stranded inventory, it's important for you to assess whether or not it's worth it for you to pay the removal fee for them to actually send it back to you. Because that removal fee plus the shipping could be more than what the cost of that return is or what that product is. So sometimes it's just worth it to go into your stranded inventory, and even though you've gotten some returns that are low dollar volume, just have them dispose of it rather than having it return it, because that way you're saving more money by not paying that extra cost of shipping.
Well, it's going to depend on how the return comes back. You know, a lot of times if you can send that back in and sell it because it's brand new, then yeah, absolutely do that. But if not, then you can look to flip that in a couple ways. You could sell it on eBay, you can sell it on Facebook Marketplace. In some cases, it may just be a loss, and that's just the cost of doing business. But hopefully you're able to still sell those on Amazon in some capacity or some other place.
The main thing with those type of categories is you have to have that expectation built in to the sourcing. So upfront, you need to realize that if you're going to have a 15% return rate, you have to kind of build that into your sourcing criteria and to make sure that you only source products that can handle that return, because it will happen.
So I actually use Axiom Prep Center to take my returns. I kind of like to have my business where I don't have to see my products very often, so it works out well for me. So they take all my returns. Sometimes I take some removals if it's unfulfillable, but yeah, I like using Axiom as my return prep center.
So I actually have a reseller friend that sells on eBay that I actually ship him all my returns that I can't resell back on Amazon. And he liquidates them on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or flea market. And then we do 60-40 splits.
Oh, profit sharing with that.
Yep. So that way I just liquidate it for whatever cash I can get back, because maybe it's a pair of shoes or a toy that somebody opened and it's used. It still may have some value, but it can't go back on Amazon because they opened it or whatever it may be. And then if there's value there on eBay, I box everything up and I'll ship it to him, and he'll list it all on eBay. And then he pays me every month, you know, our share or whatever. So that way I can at least liquidate it and get some cash back as opposed to no cash back. So that's been a huge game changer in my business because it's, you're trying to juggle an Amazon business and then you have to worry about returns and listing all that on eBay, Facebook Marketplace and all that. Like that's a lot to do. So it's nice to have him in my corner doing the eBay stuff. I made a mistake of buying a couple gigantic AC units that were super cheap and they were like selling for like 4x of what I paid for them. I sent them into Amazon FBA. Huge mistake, but Amazon ended up, I don't know what happened, dinged them up, boxes got dinged up, they removed them back, and I sent them to him. He ended up selling them on Facebook Marketplace to just get my cash back, which was nice, but it was like a big headache, but it's nice to have somebody to do that. So like either, besides listing them on eBay, so I would find someone that you trust that could list your items for you. If you're so busy in your Amazon business, you don't have time to do both, because a lot of us have a death pile or a storage unit where it's just tons of returns that sit there for years and you don't know what to do with them.
You don't want to deal with them because like it takes so much time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's nice to find someone that can do that, a profit share if you do 50-50 or whatever it may be, where they do all the work and they just send you a check every month or send, whatever, Venmo you every month.
And before we end, make sure that you are using a repricer to sell on Amazon, which can help you sell faster, win the Amazon buy box more often, and have higher profits. You can even try out BQool Repricer for that right away. We have a 14-day free trial with no need to insert your credit card, so give it a try, and I will see you next time.